work. Ooh, it's hot. Ah. It smells like burning. Oh, cramp. Oh. Are you one of millions of Americans who struggles to drill a hole in a rock? Oh no, they spilled. Well, if so, here is my recommendations. I have a piece of agate, and for those of you that want to call it chalcedony, knock yourselves out. I don't care. Anyway, hardness. Just to show you, I'm not just drilling on soft rocks. I'm going to talk about all the different types of burrs out there that a lot of people like to use. There's all kinds of drills and things that they act like are for drilling holes through rock, and people set up drill presses and a tank of water and sit there and chip their rocks and wonder why it's going so slow and not going well. Some of these even have a hole in the end of them, which can work really good if they're good quality. I don't know if you can see that hole in the end. So you're not just drilling with a full surface, you're drilling with the rim, and it just helps cut better. But my method that I have found I like the best and works the quickest, you can use whatever type of diamond drill bits you have, or not drill bits, but diamond burrs. I would just stick with burrs. I wouldn't bother buying the little drill bits. But for the average person that wants to drill a hole in a rock they just polished for a piece of jewelry or whatever, you can use any kind of drill bit and whatever. But what I like the best are, and I didn't have any in the standard size. Forgive me for having little tiny ones, but the nice thing is these little tiny ones, you can buy a pack of them for like $1, up to $1.50 depending on where you buy them. I bought 100 of these ones, I can find them here, for $15 the other day. Let's show you that. Right here. All these pretty fellers lined up, except for these guys. You can tell they're different. Anyway, all these for $15. Okay, so you can get them pretty cheap. Let's talk about them. Different grits. This one, BR31C. The C is coarse. Ball, round, 31, size 31, whatever, and then coarse. So it's coarse grit diamond. That's what you want to drill holes faster. But I'm going to, use one of these guys, and I have these little converters here. I have these little converters here that you can put these friction grip burrs in. Okay, and then throw that in your Dremel or whatever you have, your rotary tool. There you go. So that aside, there's all different shapes and sizes and grits. Here's a different company that makes them, DMX versus AZ Dent versus whatever, Henry Schein, wherever you want to get them. Just get you some diamond burrs. They don't have to be these little guys. Like these Comet ones are really good. They last quite a while. But the main thing is we're going to use water. And we're going to do just a tiny bit of water too. You don't have to have a big drip system set up, all fancy. Like I said, this is agate or chalcedony, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to just put a drop of water on there and start a dimple. And you see that water turning white? That's the ground rock in it. I'm going to zoom in a little closer. Whoa. Okay. Now I'll find our little dimple again. Now, my RPMs are only going up to about 4,000 RPMs at the fastest, maybe 3. That's because I want my diamond burr to last, because if it lasts, it cuts faster. Pushing it hard might cut faster for a second, but you're going to just break and beat up and rip the diamonds out of your burr quicker, because this is just an electroplated burr. This doesn't have, it's not a sintered. Anyway, let me show you how far we made it so far. Just that little bit. Okay. Where's my focus? There's the hole. Now if you want a nice trick people do, and it's only on ones you can see through, otherwise you just measure or guess. You can shine a light from the back side. I'm not doing the best job showing this. Anyway, I can see through it already to see where my hole is. Either way, figure out where you want your hole to come out of and go on that side and start it there too. And the reason you do that is when you break through, if you haven't started a hole on the other side, I'll try to make sure you can see it, is it'll chip. So if I've started a hole on this side and work on drilling through, and I'm not pushing hard, I'm literally just letting the diamond cut as fast as it wants to cut. Okay. Anyway, you pre-drill from the other side too, like I said, and then it won't chip on you. So real time, I don't know how long this video will go, I'll drill through this for you. That's why I lift it out, put it back in just to make sure I'm getting water underneath it. I'll try to make sure you're on camera, even though there's shadows. Let me move the slide over a little closer. Okay. Anyway, the game here is patience and just light work. You can see I'm kind of rotating it around just to make sure it doesn't stall out and burn the diamonds off in one spot. Not that it will with this kind of pressure and water. But just patiently drilling. I guess I should show you how thick this is, huh? And if you want, you can put it, I've just got a little dish here, but you can put it down in water and, and keep it underwater while you're drilling, and that's just a preference if you want. I just do it this way because it's easier. I'm going to come to the back side and work from that side too. I was a tiny bit off with this. It's a little crooked, but that's alright. We're just demonstrating. Anyway, like I said, it's a game of patience. And when it breaks through in the middle, it's going to kind of grab a little. You want to go real slow and light when you're getting close. Make sure you keep enough water on it. You can see it's not flipping water everywhere, but it's keeping my diamond cool. And it's still cutting really nice. And these are cheap diamonds, really cheap, like 20 cents a piece. And like I said, you can use, these kind of diamonds and stuff too. I would just probably stick with ones more like these back ones back here. If you want to drill a hole that big, fine, it's just going to take longer. You can always drill a hole with the smaller ones and then, work on reaming it out and then until you fit a bigger one too. But I see people with like the drill press method just putting tons of pressure on it, and half the time their cabochon cracks or they burn up the drill bit way too fast. They're going through a ton of drill bits, or drilling bits. When you buy these, it's like $10 for a dozen of them for the cheap ones. But you'll get frustrated because it takes forever to drill a hole and you burn your diamonds off. So you just take them. Oh, I think we are through. So that was not too bad a timing for drilling through agate like this. Now, the thickness of this, I could show you. Let me get my gauge. We're about 3.5 millimeters on that. So anyway, you get the idea. There's a nice clean hole drilled through it, and that really didn't take that long. And like I said, you can use these other ones, other shapes of them and stuff. In fact, I'll grab one of these just to show you which one should we use. We'll grab this guy, kind of a standard size here. And if that's all you're interested in and you learned from it, great. If you want to see me drill a hole with this one, I'll hurry and drill another hole. Like I said, same thing, just water. Get it started. Oh, we've got a flat surface, so it's going to take a sec. Kind of ease it in. As soon as your water water starts running out. Get more on there. Don't burn up your bits for no reason. Your diamonds, I mean. Diamonds do not like too much heat and too much pressure. They might be hard, but they're brittle and they will chip and break if you're putting too much pressure, and heat will cause them to chip and break also. Plus, the metal that they're electroplated on with is only so strong, it can only take so much heat too before it starts getting softer and weaker. One thing diamonds do not like either is metal. And yeah, we have like diamond sharpeners and stuff for knives like this. They're fine, but it's a hardened steel blade, and it still isn't that good on the diamond technically, but metal is soft compared to rock as far as that, and it's also tough, so it'll grab a hold of those diamonds and rip them right out of the metal matrix they're stuck in. So like using diamonds on metal, a lot of people do it, and that's fine, especially if you just realize you're going to need a new diamond bit eventually. So now I'm actually already pretty far on that. I'm going to come on this side and mark this side and kind of try to, yeah, so it doesn't chip out when I break through from the other side. If you can pre-drill the back side, do so. Otherwise, just go really slow and careful towards the end, because it'll try to chip it out. Anyway. See, that water really isn't causing too big of a problem. Not making a big mess. Sorry, my hands are kind of in the way. It's just, anyway, you get the idea. For those of you drilling through cabochons, I would really recommend using a ball burr, because what it does is allows you to just make a nice divot in it in the exact spot you want to drill before you start. Whereas a flat-ended burr like this, when you put it on there, tends to kind of try to skip around and scratch up your nice polished rock. Does that make sense? So I like the ball burrs. They just work really well. Plus that kind of rocking method I use to keep, I'm trying to figure out how to show you, but like you picture you're cutting that edge, instead of that whole surface getting hot and whatever. The whole point is to keep your diamonds cool and cutting without wearing them down. And I find it's that kind of motion, even if it's just slight, really kind of helps speed things up a little bit and cut well. Anyway, these are these flat ones. And then if you do it too much, really big, you'll make your hole bigger. So just be aware of that. But you can see, see we broke, well, let me get that out of here. We broke through a tiny bit. Now you got to go a little slow there, or it can kind of grab, and you don't want it to grab, bind, and break your rock or something, but get some water in there. That really wasn't bad timing, was it? Now, a lot of you buying those little rock drilling bits spent a lot longer trying to drill a hole through agate than that. There. Got it through now. So there's hole number 2. Let me rinse it out. There. Bigger hole, smaller hole. You get the point. There's a little debris on that one. But yeah. Any of you that have been wanting to drill a hole in rock, there's a normal burr, and there's one of those little FG burrs. Well, you can see the rock powder on it now. Let's clean it off. But there you go, just a little tiny ball burr that I got for 20 cents, or one of these burrs that you get in a pack, like 10 pack or 12 pack for $10. Either way, not expensive. There's agate, chalcedony, whatever you want to call it. You can tell it's good hard rock. It's not a soft rock. Drilled right through it. Now if you drill through jasper, it will take at least twice that long. But everything else, agate and softer, will drill really fast. So there you go. If you found this, helpful, taught you something, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I have lots of videos where I'm carving and making and doing things. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Thank you. Well, are you still here? Cool. Well, I'll show you one more thing. Carving rock. If you want to carve rock, these are great. These little burrs. I talk about how I can use them in this handpiece in many different ways, not just these, in another video. Anyway, let me just show you what you can do real quick with just a little tray of water in your finger. You don't need a vacuum. You can wear a mask if you want. If you're grinding so fast it's flipping water everywhere, you're probably grinding faster than the diamonds really need. I just thought I'd show you this. Oop, slipped out of there a little bit. That won't look so pretty, but okay. Take your time, don't be in a hurry like I am. Anyway, just a matter of less than a minute. You get the idea. There you go. Carved in there fairly far. And if you want to see how to polish this stuff, I have videos talking about all kinds of burrs that I use for that. So please check out my channel. I'll teach you some stuff. Anyway, that's how I carve rock. Even with bigger burrs and bits and things. Let me show you a big feller. Oh, this one's big enough. There we go. Oh, let's get the adapter out of there. Make sure it's clean. Okay, so even the big stuff. This one might flip a little bit. It's just a big burr. So we'll go right here. Loud noises. Whoop, I flipped at the end there. See that? 3,000 RPMs, and it's cutting really nice and fast. This is a cheap burr. This is off Amazon. I got 10 of these for $10. And look how well I can carve this agate. Definitely going to turn the volume down on editing this. You see the water pooled up on there? As long as you see that water, it's still cutting good and doing fine. I'm going to go until it kind of dries up and you'll see. It's going a while. There, it's starting to get dry. Anyway, I don't know if I can show fully on video how deep that is, but that's, you know, a chunk through that rock already. Here, we'll use one of these other burrs like this. This is a dull one actually. Nah, anyway, you get the point. Let's just drill a little hole through that. Where's my adapter? Oh, okay. Putting an adapter in an adapter, and I can use a little tiny burr. Put some water in the pocket. And drill a hole right through there. Turn it over. Oh, the backside's gonna be a little hidden, so I'm gonna have to guess on video. Let's see if I guess well enough. A little dry. Anyway, this kind of just shows a point. You can, yeah, I probably didn't guess real well. Yeah, I don't know if I guessed good. Anyway, just that easy to carve rock. At home, at a desk. Whoop, I did guess right. Look at that. Alright, let's rinse it off. Where's my toothbrush? Keep an old dirty toothbrush for quick cleanups. I need to get more water in my tray. I'm using just regular tap water. I'm not getting all fancy with it. Let's get the water out of it now. Anyway, big groove with a hole drilled through it, just that quick. But cheap burrs. Yeah, I did aim pretty good. There you go. Anyway, you can see how fun it could be. And then, like I said, watch my other videos and I talk about all the types of burrs and wheels and things I like to use to polish rock and other stuff. And I'm going to be moving on with my channel to other things too in the future, not just carving rocks and whatever, but you know, it takes a minute to make and edit these videos. So, like I said, I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please hit me up. I will gladly re-explain everything and let you know what I'm talking about if you didn't understand something I was saying. But yeah, thanks.